So, our first question is, why do you come to SHAD each year?
It's not an easy question to answer in one sentence, but I'll try. Because I love it. Next. No. Working at SHAD is a tremendous opportunity, and I find that the more I work with SHAD, the more I realize how privileged I am to be involved with SHAD Valley, and specifically the students and the staff in the program. So, you know, I became involved in 1999, and pretty much been involved ever since then. Where else do you get to meet such, at the risk of sounding cliched from the SHAD brochure, high potential youth? You guys are enthusiastic, very bright, driven and passionate, community oriented. It's almost like a teacher's dream, you know, to be involved with such young people.
Our next question would be, what is your goal through the different lectures you teach? What's your overall umbrella-like goal?
Superficially, I would say that my overall goal is to try and present information, breach topics, illustrate relationships, aspects and topics that you would not otherwise be exposed to in high school, or for that matter, in university. I'm a big believer in the interrelationship of disciplines and domains, and I'm a big believer in interdisciplinary research. And what you find is that at the highest levels, the various areas of study, disciplines merge. So you can approach almost anything from any point of view. You can approach, it's like map making. You can make a map out of many different media. You can draw a map out of charcoal or pencil, or you can digitize a map. You can do a map in different colors. You can do a topographical map. You can do demographical maps. You can do all kinds of different maps. And you're making a map of the territory, but it's not the territory. And so by showing different points of view and by showing a relationship between these points of view, I feel that I'm teaching you how to investigate things, how to question things, and I feel that I'm giving you a broader appreciation of knowledge as opposed to the pigeonholed traditional classical disciplines.
So we get lots of knowledge and information throughout all our lectures, and we try to apply it in the real world. But I think the hardest part of this process is knowing or finding out what motivates us. And we'd like to know as SHADs, what motivates you to do the things you do in life?
So I try to motivate myself by reminding myself of how fortunate I am to be doing what I'm doing. I try to remind myself of, you know, my own inherent potential. I remind myself of the things that I really enjoy doing. For instance, I love physical training. I love strength training. I love martial arts. I love coaching. And that brings up another point. I love teaching. And it brings me great joy to be able to take what could be considered a complicated concept or something difficult and turn it into something that's manageable, easy, and fun. And just, you know, seeing the look of eureka on someone's face and knowing that I had a hand in helping them, you know, discover the joy in that activity and maybe feel some of the passion that I feel. It's almost like I'm passing something on, you know what I mean? And so that does motivate me. Sometimes I have to remind myself of that, you know, and that's one of the reasons that I find SHAD Valley so recharging for me. Coming to SHAD for a month actually reminds me of what I take to be important, what I hold to be of value in my own life. And I think we all need that once in a while because it's easy to get distracted. It's all nice and good to say, well, we should be focused all the time on our goals, and I even give a talk on goal setting. Okay, I haven't given it to you guys yet, but I give one pretty well every year. And there are steps to goal setting, but you need to have some desire, and you need to know what's available. if you're living in a shoebox, it's very hard to know what's going on outside. And this is where, I feel, I come in, and other lecturers come in, and other coaches and mentors come in, is to help make you guys realize what's available out there for you. What potential there lies in, not just in, in yourselves, but in others, and in the universe, dare I say. So, I know that sounds kind of grandiose, but, we're beings of near infinite potential. That's what I think, and that's what I have to keep reminding myself when I feel like I don't want to work out, or I feel like I don't want to do something that's good for me. I don't want to eat my spinach. I often remind myself of not just how it affects me positively, but how it will affect others. What kind of ramifications will it have for people that I care about? What ramifications will it have for me passing on my knowledge? And how will it make me feel in the end,
Teenagers definitely feel somewhat of a stress in knowing what we want to do in the next 5, 10 years. Well, because this interview is about you, we want to know where you see yourself in the near future and the distant future.
Wow, well, I can't tell you everything, otherwise I'd have to kill you. That was a joke, by the way, I was joking. Well, I do have some definite goals, but I know, there's a certain amount of motion in those goals. As Yoda would say, always in motion is the future, right?
An ambiguity.
A little bit. That being said, it's not an excuse not to have goals. It's just there may be different ways of attaining those goals, and goals can be not as well defined as we meant them to be. For instance, if you want to help people, that's pretty vague. If you want to help people in the medical field, that's a little more specific. If you want to help people in the medical field by being a physician, that's even more specific. And there are different ways of attaining those goals too. So I don't want to sound too philosophical with your direct question, but I'm definitely going to be active in the health field. And I would love to go back to academia in some way, shape, or form. I retired as a faculty member at Carleton University in order to go back to school, ironically. And I miss it. I really miss it. I want to get back in the classroom. I want to get back to the podium. I want to also get back to coaching. I was doing a lot of coaching of athletes at various levels. Going back to school, I made a lot of sacrifices. So being near the end of that cycle, I look very much forward to picking up where I left off. So that includes getting back into coaching, getting back into teaching, maybe in the health field, maybe combining some of my mathematical and physics background into the health field, which is what I had originally intended. I have certain goals athletically as well. I'm not dead yet. I have certain goals, personal goals, family goals as well. And I think the important point here is I'm striving to maintain balance. And I don't want it to be a fight. I don't want to have to strive so hard. I want it to be more natural. And so I want to be able to pursue things simultaneously and maintain balance in my life and enjoy the process, right? So it's about enjoying the process of achieving your goals as well. And one thing's for certain is I want to be involved with SHAD as long as they want me involved. They may not after this interview, but
Thank you, Sam, and we look forward to seeing your next lecture.
I look forward to it as well. Thank you very much. It's an honor.